Alright, well, let's look at timers now. Now, timers are simply this area of the interface on the right, and you can see that there are 12 boxes on the interface. Some of them have timers shown, others are empty, and the thing to be aware of is that timers have 4 different states. Okay? The first state is that they either don't exist, so these 5 timers don't exist yet, and I guess that could be considered a state even though they don't exist. But the other state is that they're activated. You can see that this particular timer with the start button, really large start button, this is an activated timer. This means that this timer is ready to go. You push the start button here, it'll start the timer, and you can begin working on that particular task. This timer is in use. You can see that it's counting down, and it has a reset button, a pause button, a delete, and complete button. And we'll look at those in just a second. And the fourth state is a completed timer. That's this timer right here, or actually these 5 timers are completed timers. And what that simply means is that the time that the timer was set for has already been used up, and you should have finished that particular task. Okay, and so here's a 15-minute timer. You can see that the time bar here indicates that this was a 15-minute timer. Apparently I've gone through this particular timer, it's completed, the alarm's gone off, and now this is what it looks like. Alright, and every time you complete a timer, whether manually, for example, I can complete this particular timer even though it's activated. I can click this button here and it will complete this timer, which essentially means that I've set this timer for 3 hours, 180 minutes. When I complete it, that's essentially telling the Action Machine, okay, you know what, I didn't use the countdown timer, but I did spend 3 hours on this task, and I'm going to go ahead and complete it. Let me click that button. You can see that it completes it, and what that does is it will record that particular timer in the number of completed actions, so that when a report is generated, that particular timer is added to the report. And we'll look at reports in another video. But in any case, once a timer has been completed, it'll update the number of completed actions and the information in the report. Now, once an action or a timer is completed, you can either delete it with this button here or reset it so that it's ready to go again. And at any time with the time bar on the timer, on any of these timers, you can reset the time of the timer dynamically. So let's say I have this currently in use timer. It's set for 15 minutes to work on email, but let's say I get into it and I realize I need 30 minutes perhaps. Well, I'll just click the 30-minute button here. It will update the display on the timer, and even though at 15 minutes I had used up almost 4 minutes, that same 4 minutes will have been used up when I update the timer to 30 minutes. Okay? Now, once again, while the timer is in use, I can reset it, and this will cause it not to be recorded as a completed action or added to the report. But if I push the reset button, let me go ahead and do that. Well, let me wait to do that. Let me explain some of these other buttons. This one will pause the timer, obviously, and this one will delete the timer without recording it as a completed action, and this will, once again, if you press this, it will record this particular timer and the action associated with it as complete. That's what this button does here. And why would you want to do that? Well, let's say you set aside 30 minutes for an action and it only took you 22 minutes. Well, you don't necessarily need to keep the timer going. You just want to record that as a completed action, so you push that button right there. Alright, and if you press this button, this will reset the timer, and once again it's in an active state. Alright, as you use the timers or reset the time, you'll see that the total time bar here, which represents the total amount of time in the timers shown on the screen. Okay, so currently all these 7 timers contain tasks that I've set aside 8 hours and 15 minutes for, and this total time bar shows that amount visually. Okay, and if I ever want to reset all the timers back to their activated state, I simply press this button. But let me show you what happens when you reset the value of a timer dynamically. You'll see that the total time bar is automatically updated as well. So you'll always have the most up-to-date information about how much time you're spending that day on your actions, both with some text information and visually with the time bar here. Alright, now at any time also, as you move your mouse over a timer, or the white section of the timer, the bottom section of the timer, you'll see a brief preview of the notes associated with that timer. If you want full notes, simply click the area right there and the full notes will appear on the screen. And once you're done looking at the full notes, maybe clicking links or whatever you want to do, you close the full notes by pressing the cancel button there. Now, in order to move timers around, you'll find this button here, and you may choose to move timers around just simply for your own organizational purposes. So let's say working on the car, you want to move this particular timer and make it the #1 timer. So you'll click this button here. You'll find several buttons that appear that represent other available slots in on the screen where you can move the timer to. And since I want to move it this particular timer work on car to the top, I'll highlight that, and you can see that the Action Machine excuse me, will move that up to and make it the #1 timer. Now the last thing I want to look at are the timer options, and you can access those by clicking this button right here. On this bar you can clear all the timers. That will delete all the timers. That's different than resetting them. This button will actually delete them from the interface. You can also choose an alarm sound that you want to play when a timer is complete. Now the other section here is for timer groups. The Action Machine comes with 50 timer groups, and what that simply allows you to do is organize and save timers into groups that make sense to you. So you might have a group of timers for Monday. Come down here, select timer group #2, and add timers to that, and rename that group, which you can do by clicking this edit button here. We'll name this Tuesday just for demonstration purposes, and I'll go back to timer group #1, edit that and name that Monday. Click OK, and so now I have a Monday and a Tuesday timer group, and whenever I select one of those timer groups, the interface will update if I have any timers for that particular timer group, and if I don't, I can add them by doing the typical method for adding timers to the screen. So you have up to 50 different timer groups that you can use to organize timers in a way that you might use for planning a project, or based on the day of the week, or based on an activity such as doing your taxes. You might have a timer group for that. Whatever works for you. That's what the ability of having timer groups allows you to do.